Well, for more analysis on this, let's speak to Ahmed Al Burai. He's a columnist for the Middle East Eye. Ahmed, good to speak to you again. Now, leaving aside the security measures, who do we think may be behind this at this point, and what points us in one direction or the other?
Whenever we have these kind of terrorist attack, you have in Turkey, you have two parties or two groups that can perpetrate these kind of attacks. The first one is the Kurdistan Worker Party or Daesh. But this kind of attacks, mainly it's Daesh. We don't know so far, but they don't claim the responsibility quickly. But what we know that their target is mainly civilians, and they're trying to destabilize the society, demoralize the people here, especially at this timing. And they trying to send different messages by targeting these kind of civilians. So most probably it will be Daesh.
And what messages are they trying to send? And it's worth remembering that they have actually stated openly that they plan to attack and increase their attacks on civilian targets in Turkey.
Yeah, the first message mainly for the people in Turkey, that you're not safe, we can target you, so it's better to practice more pressure, put more pressure on your government, try to withdraw them from Turkey, from Syria. This is a message also for the government itself, that it's a kind of revenge for the killing of their main senior officials. Yesterday, the day before yesterday, two main senior officials of the so-called Islamic State were killed in Al Bab in Syria. This kind of a revenge for them could be. The other one for the tourists generally, that Istanbul is not the best place, so it's a kind of destabilizing the economy. The government has recently taken some measure in order to stabilize and to try to overcome the problems that they're facing recently. So it's a multidimensional message trying to, again, destabilize Turkey because their success and progress in the Euphrates Shield in Syria.
And you're right, and you think it's right to be able to link the actions of the state in Syria and these actions now that they're facing in Istanbul. That's a fair comparison, is it? It's a fair link.
I feel there is a direct correlation between both of them. The more you progress, I mean the government achieves some progress in Syria, the more ISIS or Daesh will escalate and retaliate inside Turkey itself, mainly against the civilians. So it's a kind of revenge on one hand. On the other hand, it's a kind for the government itself that if you go on with this, don't feel that you can protect your own people, and we can destabilize the society. We can destabilize or disseminate a state of fear and terror among your own people.
And it's a completely different way of waging a war, isn't it? Whereas there's conventional warfare taking place in Syria, this kind of terror attack, which, as you say, may be in terms of revenge, it's very hard to then fight against, isn't it? Because you're fighting conventional war on one front and this kind of intelligence, fifth-generation war on another.
Of course, that's the dilemma that Turkey is facing. Turkey is launching war in different stages. Like, from the one hand, they're fighting ISIS. From the one hand, they're fighting a Kurdistan party. From the other hand, they're in Iraq. From the other hand, they have also FETÖ, or Fethullah Gulen, the coup plotters. So it's a kind of multidimensional war. And it's another, in another term, it's a kind of unconventional way, because these kind of people, they're easy to penetrate a kind of wide, spacious country like Turkey. It's not an easy job to find them. It's not an easy job to predict their action or to expect their terrorist attacks, mainly because they're trying to spray the attacks in different parts of Turkey. And it seems that they're strong enough. They have good connections, good relations, so they can easily infiltrate, easily penetrate the society, which is a very hard topic for the government to face.
And I mean, just finally then, you say their strength. Of course, they've been almost driven out of parts of Mosul. The attacks on Raqqa will be coming pretty soon. As you say, Al Bab is under siege, essentially. Artillery is being fired in there. If Turkey and the coalition and other groups do destroy what they call the caliphate in Syria and Iraq, how much will that stop attacks on places like Turkey and places like France and places like Germany? How much will that actually reduce the ability of groups like Daesh to be able to attack other parts of the world?
That is the elephant in the room. Mainly, what I believe, what we're talking about is not the right solution for the problem, because we're not looking for the causes of this. We, by a way or another, we cleansed Daesh from the northern part of Syria or Iraq. It's already, we may have like the second generation, the third generation, a 3.0, or other kind of generations of Daesh that they will be rebranded in different names. They will come out and they will carry out these kind of things, mainly if these powers could not come out with real political solution to the people there to try to eliminate the causes of the problem, why these kind of people are being radicalized. If now you're trying to whitewash Assad and you're trying to tell the people what's happening in Syria for 6 years is nothing, the 600,000 people killed, they've gone in vain and they're not worthy, they're not as worthy as other people, then the people are going to be radicalized. They would believe that the method of ISIS or Daesh is worthy to follow. That's why you could have, unless the political solution is on the table as an alternative, the international community is able to say this to the people and convince them that by this way we will find you solutions, I think people like ISIS will not vanish easily.
So you have to fill the vacuum that's been left. Okay, Ahmed,
Absolutely.
Plenty more to talk about. We have to leave it there. Thanks very much for your time.
Thank you.